This keynote is called Try Another Way, like it's a bad thing. And what I would like to do is just kind of go back a bit and set the scene from why I picked this title. And take you back to 1975. I had just left school and I was off to become a teacher. And I was into David Bowie, Frank Zappa. I was listening to music. I was wearing that shirt, or shirts similar. I had kind of a large, no, not a mullet, it was more like a afro kind of thing. And I was using that kind of technology. That's a telephone booth. And little did I know at that stage, using that technology, that one day I would be having in my pocket a phone that could give me a portal to the full existence of human knowledge. That couldn't do it. I was thinking about that as I was putting that slide up, and I thought, I remembered Google back in 2010 had determined that in 2010, every 2 days, we were doubling the sum of our knowledge from the beginning of human civilization to 2003. So I think now, I look at my phone, I think, wow, I can access all that knowledge, and all I do with it is take photos of food and put them onto Instagram. But I'll get to that at the end, a bit more about Instagram. But one of the other things that happened when I went teaching, I went straight into special education, and a couple of things happened, and one of them was that I experienced a life-changing kind of experience of doing this job. When I first went to my first school, not all kids in New South Wales had to go to school. Many students with various abilities actually never got to school. And at that same time, these the various researchers and educators started to challenge those assumptions. One man in particular, his name was Mark Gold, started to kind of rethink about how we taught people. And he used this expression, try another way. He actually, that was he was exploring systematic instruction, and he used to use a mantra with his students when they attempted a task. He would say, try another way. He started to explore the issue that all students could be taught. Now, you might think that's a bizarre assumption, but in 1975, that was not an assumption. That was a known fact that we thought that not all students could be taught. About that same time, people like Bud Fredericks were doing the same kind of work, and I went off and did a postgraduate, and it was exciting. It was a time of change, and so I just thought I'd set the scene, and I'd just show you a bit about. I made a little video that I found. I've got some through a colleague. It's a VHS tape of Mark's training tapes, and I got a bit of off, and I just thought I'd just introduce you to Mark. Now, this is taken about 1971, about the time that David Bowie wrote Changes off the Hunky Dory album. If it's just a bit of trivia for you there, but. So it's a bit scratchy in parts, so you'll hear a bit occasionally. That's the quality of tape. And also excuse maybe his dress sense, and also some of the words he uses we wouldn't use today, but remember it was in 1971.
This is a bicycle brake. Since 1967, when we began this research, it has had a major impact on the development of my philosophy and on the techniques that have generated from our research. Its principal impact has been to point out the discrepancy between what people think are the capabilities of the severely handicapped, the mild and severely and profoundly retarded, and what they're really capable of doing. The hundreds of people that we've trained on this task, almost 100% of the time, have learned quickly and efficiently to do this. If they can learn to do this task which in and of itself means nothing at all, certainly many of the things that we have kept from them, complicated things to learn, we think, many of those things are things that they could learn, things that would allow them to join us as thoroughly participating members of society. Why can't the people we serve have their balances too? Why can't we give them genuine competence? Why can't we give them things that not everyone else has? The answer is that we can. As soon as we decide that they have the right to acquire really sophisticated, genuine skills, social skills, self-help skills, academic skills, etc., then they can have the same chunk of the action that we have.
Cue saxophone. So what happened is that there was a total disruption to what we thought in educators, and we became change agents. We became people who, it was exciting. It was an exciting time. I started teaching in 1980, and it was a time when every day you went to work, it was another task analysis. It was another thing to explore. It was another thing to discount and to try again and try again and try another way. And it was a time when we disrupted not only ourselves, but the system as well. And a whole bunch of stuff happened. 1981 in Australia was International Year of the Disabled, I think it was the term. It was a wonderful time. It was an event horizon, which means it was a point of no return. We could never go back. We had to go forward. And that's only, oh my goodness, it's only 30 odd years ago. In all my teaching career, I've waited for another event horizon, and one has appeared. And the one that's appeared is the interaction of technology and education. And technology, for the first time, I really think, is really starting to impact upon what we do. We've always had technology in our classrooms, but they've always been in the special corner with the special student, with the special person working on the special computer, or often in a high school, in a totally different room. For the first time, we're actually now seeing technology impact upon what we do.